Thank you so much for being on Lessons Learned.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, so you want to tell us your story?
Yeah, so I met this person online and trying to meet new people and stuff. So, um, when he responded, he said, "Oh, can I borrow $20? Because I need something to relax me when I meet new people. I get nervous. I need something to relax me." So at this point, I'm thinking he's probably a drug addict,
Mm.
and I'm not gonna go through this again because I had a couple of drug addicts that robbed from me before. I said,
Oh,
so I said, I'm not going through this again. So I said no. And then I had given my phone number so we can text back and forth to set up a time when to meet or whatever. So he kept bugging me for money. I told him my situation. I don't make a lot of money. I just got laid off from my job and stuff and that. So, which he didn't understand, obviously. So he, so I finally agreed. I'm gonna give you $10, and I'm gonna see where this goes. Says I'm not giving you any more than that. So I meet up with him. I give him the $10. I said, "Well, where do you want to go to get stuff? CVS, Walgreens?" No, he said, "Oh, my friend has what I need." So I'm thinking, "Oh, it's drugs that he needs, obviously." I was saying, "Oh, this isn't gonna last for too long." So also he said, "Oh, by the way, I think I know one of your neighbors." And I'm thinking, who could he know? Because I live in a condo.
right.
So I was like, well, who could he know his age? He was like about 20 years old. So he, like, who could he know that I would know? Because there is some kids in the complex, but I don't really know them
Mm-hmm.
just by face, and that's it. So then he mentions a name, and it was my next door neighbor's son, a couple doors down, which I knew. I don't really know him, but I know who he is, and I knew he was a drug addict too. So I was like, now I got to be careful what I say to him because I don't know what he's gonna say to him about me and who I am and this and that.
Yeah, because you don't really know. You didn't know at
Yeah,
the time.
yeah. So, um, so this went on for about a year, going back and forth. I ended up taking him down to Hartford to get drugs, and he conned me out of money. All these stories, I'll pay you back, blah blah blah. It never happened. He says I'll have my father pay you back. That never happened. So this was going on and on and on. It's like I didn't know how to stop it because he knew my neighbor. If he was just a stranger, I would have just ended it, and that was that. I could have
Mm-hmm.
just said, yelled at him, and say, "Don't bug me anymore." But I kept letting it happen.
Because you didn't know what to do. You didn't know how to end
Yeah,
it, which
yeah, I
is,
didn't know how. Yeah, and I didn't
understandable.
want to contact the son because his mother probably didn't know what was going on. So, and I didn't know how to contact the son to talk to him. So one day, after this was going on for a long time, he he says, "Oh, one day when I wanted to go pick him up again, he says, "Oh, I told the guy you want to buy cocaine. Why would you say that without my permission?"
Oh my
At that
goodness.
at that point, I knew I was getting myself deeper and deeper and deeper. Saying, "I got to end this somehow." So I said, "Nope, I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna do that." He said, "If you think I'm gonna do that, that's not gonna happen." And I said, "If you wanted that, why don't you tell the guy that's what you want and we'll go get it? Not that I want to get involved in that because if the cops are around, I'm going to get arrested."
Right.
So, um, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you what to say. So we go down there. I said, "This is going to be it. This is it. Last time." So we go down there in the best section of town like we did all the other times. And this big black guy comes walking down the street talking on the cell phone. Pardon my racist thing, but that's what it
No,
was. So I don't mean anything
I
bad
mean,
by
you're just, yeah, you're not.
it. So he's talking on the cell phone, checking me out, making sure I wasn't a cop or something. So how do I know he wasn't a cop trying to set me up? But why would he set me up if I've been giving him money? He wouldn't like throw me in jail because now he has no source to go get him stuff.
I have a
So
question.
go ahead.
Before you went to do all that, did you have a weird gut feeling?
Yeah, obviously when he started saying cocaine, then I knew things were going in a bad direction. But again, I didn't know how to say. I should have just said no and just not go that night.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, this
You
is the
had to learn
last
a
time.
lesson.
Yeah. Just like your show.
Exactly.
So the guy gets in my car, and now I'm getting really scared. I'm thinking he did this to set me up, to scare me some more so he can get more money out of me. So we go to another place so he can go get it because he didn't have it on him. It's like, now where are we going? It's late at night. I don't have time for this. We go. He goes to his friend's house, go gets it, gets back in my car. We go back to where I picked him up. Then he shows me the stuff in the back seat. He goes, here it is. Says, I'm not touching that. I'm not putting my fingerprints on it. I'm not doing it. So, but how do I know that was the real thing? Maybe it could have just been a sack of flour, and he was just like pretend had this guy calm me to scare me, to get money out of
Hmm.
me. So I said, I just got real quiet and I said, okay. I didn't really say much. And the guy was kind of getting ticked off. He said, go ahead, try it. It's like, I'm not trying any of this stuff. I don't want my fingerprints on this, nothing. I'm thinking, you better not drop that stuff in my car if that's the real thing. So now it's going to be all over my car. And if that happens, I'm going to get real upset. I'm going to throw a tantrum. I'm going to wake up this whole neighborhood. So my friend finally speaks up. He says, oh, he doesn't have the money. We have to go back to his house to get it. And we'll come back later. He said he just wanted to see if you had it. If it was for real or not. So I'm thinking, once we get this guy out of my car, I'm not coming back. He said, this is it. So, we finally convinced him to get out of the car. He wasn't too happy about it, that we wasted his time. So he gets out. We start driving back to my place, and he gets a phone call. And before we had met this guy, he had asked me, can I borrow $20? I owe this guy $10 and his friend $10. If I give him a portion of the money, he'll get off my back for the rest of the money I owe. So I'll give you $20 because you already stole, say, $500 already out of me. What's another $20 at this moment? So we're driving home. He gets a phone call. He doesn't want to wait for the rest of his money. He wants the rest of his money now. Probably because he was ticked off that I didn't take the cocaine. He didn't get his money for that. He wasted his time. So I said, I'm not giving you any more money. You got to figure out what you got to do. Call your father, get money from your father, whatever. Then he was like getting all hysterical, crying in my car. Like, you can do whatever you want. You're not getting nothing else out of me. So he gets off the phone. A few minutes later, the phone rings again. He's telling me this whole story again. He's going to beat me up if I don't get the rest of the money. I said, well, how much money do you need? I don't know. I'm just going to guess right now because I don't remember. I say like $150. So I don't have
Why did you get yourself in that situation? Like, if you don't have money, I mean, not saying to like educate people who are doing drugs, but like you shouldn't be doing that. Why are you doing that to yourself? That's
I know.
crazy.
I couldn't escape from this person. I didn't know how to stop. I didn't know who to go to for help, to ask, advice on what to do. So we go back to my house, and he gets the second phone call. He goes, "They're waiting at your house." Said they're not going to leave until they get their money. Said, "Well, you better find out how to get the money, because I'm not giving you any money." So we're sitting in my car. I said, "I'm not driving into my spot because I don't want to know where I live." So we're sitting outside on the main road, and he's crying hysterically, trying everything to get money out of me. He's like, "Well, call one of your friends." So I said, "Well, I have a friend over here that lives right here." He said, "Well, I'll call him." He said, "You're gonna call him at 1:30 in the morning to wake him up to ask for money?" "Oh, he'll be up." No, that of course kids his age are always up at all times of the hour anyways. So um he he gets out of my car to go call his friend. And I think at that point he got out of his car because he couldn't keep a straight face anymore, and he needed to go out and laugh his head off, knowing he had me scared with everything he told me about getting beat up and all this. They're gonna be pounding on every door in the neighborhood till they find my house and all this. So he gets back in my car. "Oh, I couldn't reach my friend. He wasn't answering." "Well, that's not my problem. You're not getting any money out of me." So I couldn't get this kid out of my car. It's like 1:30 in the morning. I gotta go to bed to go to work. I don't have
Oh,
time for this. "I know you have money in your house. I see it. You got money all over your house. You got all loose coins." I just had like loose change and stuff, maybe a few dollar bills and stuff. Nothing. It's like, what do you think I have? I don't live in a mansion. And you saw my house the way I live, and my house is messy and stuff. So "I know you have it." It's like, "Well, I'm not giving it to you. That money's mine." So he wouldn't leave. So I was like, "How much do you need?" So he said like $50 or whatever. So I get out of my car. I go get him and say, "Here's the money. Get out of my car." So I go back to my house. I go drop him off at his house, and that was the end of that. Saying, "This is it. I'm done with this." So maybe a few days later, he calls me up and says, "How much money do I owe you? I have some money I can give you to pay you back." Not that I believe him, because went through all this a few times before, saying, "I have the money. My father will give you the money. He'll meet you. He wants to give you the money in person," which I was afraid to meet his father because I never met him. So how do I know what he's going to do to me? So I'm not going to a stranger's house to meet him, and I don't want him to come here. So, and it all fell through the whole time. It was just a scam. His father never gave him money. He kept coming up with excuses. "Oh, I'm in the hospital. I can't
oh,
come meet me at the hospital." And then the nurses, we went there like 5 o'clock in the morning to the hospital. They wouldn't let him in because it was too early and all this, which I think was just a lie.
oh my goodness. This is horrible.
So he says, "My brother is going to give you some money. He's working till 8 o'clock tonight. So he'll come to your house and hand you the money. He wants to hand it to you personally." So same story as before. That okay. So in the meantime, he said, "We can hang out while we're waiting for him." So this was like about 5 o'clock or so. So a few times we go back into Hartford to get some stuff at his apartment and this and that. And then he gets a phone call saying, um, well, before that, he said, when my brother calls you, you go downstairs near your front door because I know you don't have good phone service in your house," which is true. In the condo, there's no phone signal in my house. So I said, I'll wait here in your bedroom while you're talking to him. And saying, I'm not leaving you alone in my bedroom while I'm talking to him on the phone, because you're probably going to be rushing through my bedroom. If I hear that, I'm going to drop the phone and I'm going to get you. This is not going to end good for you. And I'm going to kick you out. So I said, okay. I said, this is not going to happen the way you want it to happen. So in the meantime, we were out and about. He gets a phone call, goes, oh, my cousin is getting beat up by her boyfriend. Can we go pick her up?
Oh my God. No.
So
Oh my God.
I said, I'm not going there if she's getting beat up. I'm not going to get involved in that dangerous situation. So, oh, don't worry, she'll be waiting outside for him. So I said, where is she?
Supposed to be in and out. Like, why is he doing all of this? Oh,
I know.
Like, this is so cringy. Oh.
So I said, where is she? Because I'm not driving all over the state. I said, where is she? Because I'm not driving all over the state. I'm not going down to Waterbury, Bridgeport, and those bad areas. Oh, she's nearby. So I said, well, she's not coming to my house after we go pick her up. Where are we going to go after? So, oh, well, we're going to go back to her apartment. So I said, where is she? So she was like nearby. I said, all right, let's go pick her up. So we go get her. She gets in my car.
No, why did you do? Oh, you're such a good guy. You're such a like what? He took so much advantage of you.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
So we go back into Hartford. He goes back to he bought a whole bunch of drugs. Now, I don't know where he got the money from. If the girl gave him some money to buy it, I don't know. So he gets it. We go back to my place. He said, we'll wait for you outside. But this time it was like 10 o'clock. I said, where's your brother? He should have been here by now. This was like 2 hours later. So I said, oh, let me call and see where he's at. So he goes, he doesn't want to come to your house. He wants you to meet him at a restaurant, like up the road from my house. Like, it's 10 o'clock at night. You want me to go there by myself in the dark? I never met this person. How do I know what's going to happen? So I didn't know whether to go or not go. Like, what the hell should I do? I figured he's probably not going to give me the money. What is he up to now? He says, we'll wait for you here outside while you go get your money. So then he goes, so actually, when the guy finally called me when we were at my house, I picked up the phone and I was talking to the guy. It wasn't his brother. It was his brother, meaning a black guy. Like, that ain't his brother. Like, what the hell is he trying to do? So, he goes, so how long is it going to take you to go meet him to get to the place? I said, oh, probably about 10, 15 minutes without traffic lights or not. Like, why do you need to know that information? Are you going to break into my house while I'm gone, saying you need to know how much time you have to do it? So I'm thinking, should I go down there or just pretend to go down there, turn around and see if he's in my house? So like a fool, I go meet the person down at the restaurant. The place was already closed. The place was dark. I'm sitting in a dark parking lot waiting. And the guy called me. He said, okay, I'll be there in a few minutes. Then after that, my friend calls and says, yeah, my friend called. He said he's not coming because he just got in a fight with his girlfriend, so you can come back. Saying he set me up. So before
your house.
So before I came back to the house, I said, make sure those drugs are out of my car. maybe he was setting me up to have me get arrested by the cops. Well, all this drugs in my car. So he had taken the drugs out of my car. Before I go back to the house, I stop at a gas station, open my trunk just to make sure, and there was nothing in my car. So he did what? He got everything out. So I go back to my house. They're waiting for me outside. They get in my car, and I take them to her apartment, which is like a half hour away. I come back home. By this time, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. I come in my house. I had left my light on in the living room before we left. And it's awful cold in here. And this was like October time when it was just starting to get cold. I hadn't turned my heat on yet. So like, it seems colder than normal. So I just happened to walk to the kitchen. My sliding door was open and my screen door was open, like a crack. It's like, you know what? You broke into my house. And everything was all over the place on the downstairs. He like went through everything, threw stuff on the floor, everything. So I went up. I knew there was nobody in my house at that point. So it had to be him. It can't be no one that's in my house at that point. Because it was a long time, at least an hour before I came back. So I shut my door. I carefully make sure I didn't put any fingerprints on the door. I shut it up. I locked it up. I went through the whole house to make sure there was nobody in the house. There wasn't. I was terrified at that point. I couldn't get any sleep that night. So I said, the next day, I said, should I call the cops? What do I do? So the next morning, I said, I got to get out of this house. I'm so stressed out. I need to get out of here. So I go eat at a restaurant that I always wanted to try that I haven't been to before. So there was this tall guy dressed in a nice suit. He was talking to the waitress. He must have known them. So I sat down waiting for my dinner. Then he had sat down there. When he left, he came up to me and gave me his business card. And I think, buddy, whatever you're selling, after the night I have, I'm not buying nothing from you. I don't care what it is. Just leave me alone. So once he leaves, I'll wait till he leaves and I'll turn his business card over to see what it is. So I turned the business card over, looked at it. It was a business card to a church. Either a monastery or a Catholic church or one of those. At that point, I knew that was a sign from my mother that she was watching over me that night, making sure nothing bad was going to happen.
Wow.
So that kind of killed me down. I kind of believe in stuff like that.
Of course. Wow. So what happened after that? Did you start going to that church or did you?
I wanted to contact the priest to tell him what had happened the night before. It is like, I believe in stuff like miracles happen like that. But I tried to email him and it wouldn't go through because my old computer wasn't allowing me to send the email. So I still never got in touch with the priest or the minister or whatever.
But the fact that you got that sign after everything that happened.
Yeah.
Wow. So out of all of that, what did you learn?
I don't know what I learned. Stay away from drug addicts.
I definitely learned. Sorry, go ahead.
When they start asking you for money right off the bat, is like, that's a bad sign. They're not interested in knowing who you are. They're just out to rob you.
Yeah. So you did learn something. You learned not to fully trust everyone. And if they ask for money all of a sudden, then you have to walk away. And another thing I've learned from you is that you're a really nice man and people see that in you and they take advantage of you because, you want to be friends with people and some people, they just want to use you.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry that happened to you.
Yeah. And then he had broke into my house a second time
What?
because I had worked half a day one day. This is like a couple months later. I had called the cops. Then, like on Monday, I was like, I'm gonna call the cops and see what happens. Cops come over. I showed him what happened. The screen thing was cut, saying so. So he cut my screen door to get in. So he's looking at the thing. Okay, let's go inside. He looks inside. Everything was a mess. So he asked what he stole. I said, I don't know what he stole because my house is a mess. Until I clean it up, I won't know what's missing. Said he's probably just looking for loose money and change and stuff. Said right now I don't see anything valuable. The TV was still there. The VCR was still there.
You just looking for money.
Yeah. So I guess there's probably nothing they can really trace with that. So he goes, which brought out another problem. He goes, oh, this is a fire hazard. Says, so they end up calling the fire department. They called the board of health on me. They ended up they kicked me out of my house for 2 weeks so I cleaned up my place.
What? Did you ever move out of that place?
No, I'm still there.
Oh.
So that brought out even more stress that I didn't need because I was in a job which I didn't like and a low paying job. So I was stressed out with that, with trying to find a new job, dealing with this, dealing with him. And then like a few months later, I was going to an interview. So I left in the morning. And then when I came back from the interview 2 hours later, I came in my door and my light was on. It's like, I didn't leave any lights on. I don't believe I did. So I'm looking and my whole place was trashed again. And the fire department was there the day before, and so everything was all cleaned up. So he went through the whole house, my bedroom, he went down to my basement, everything. So I ended up calling the fire department a second time. I said, come down here and see what he did. I said, you know this place was cleaned the day before, so you can't blame me for making a mess again.
So how did you get it resolved?
It didn't get resolved. I think I went to the police again, complained again. Said, well, we told you the first time. Don't answer your phone. Don't knock on the door. Tell him if he comes to your house, tell him you don't want to see him anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And then so they weren't doing much help. So about maybe, I think it stopped. He didn't bug me anymore after that. About 6 months later, I found out that he died.
What?
So I don't know if he committed suicide, someone got to him and killed him, or he overdosed.
Wow.
So like, this kid was so smart and trying to con me out of everything. Why didn't he try to get help for himself?
That's the thing. He was trying to, instead of him seeking help, he was trying to, numb the pain away with drugs. And he couldn't even afford it, so he kept asking everyone for money.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah.
Wow.
I even told him one time we were sitting in the car, I said, why don't you go get some help? He said, oh, I don't like that place. No. Of course not. It's not there to a good place to be. They're trying to help you get off the drugs so you can have a better life. But he wouldn't hear through it. He was too involved, too deep in cocaine and all this other stuff. He was too far gone.
He was so gone. And that's so sad. You can't save everyone,
Yeah.
Wow. That is wow. That was that's probably one of the craziest stories I've ever heard from someone.
I know.
Because with all the synchronicity that you were having too, at the end of the day, you are not suffering anymore. You know what I mean? So that is good, but it is sad that, he had to go through it like that.
Yeah. But I'm still not kind of over it because the funeral says it was private, only by invitation only. So I don't know I don't know where he's buried or nothing. I would like to go to the grave and put a flower on his grave to
Yeah.
say like bye or whatever. Not that I really care about him. 'Cause it never meant nothing to me. But something to just like end it, you
I
know?
think I think you should, I mean, you still have to heal from it. I think you can do that without going to his grave. You know what I mean? Maybe just go, I don't know where you guys hung out. Like, did you guys ever hang out like at a park or something, or just at your house?
No, he just came to my house, and then we just went into Hartford to get drugs late at night. It's in the bad section of town where you don't
Yeah.
want to be.
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if you're into like meditation and stuff like that. And like maybe that's how you have to let it all go, from
Yeah,
meditating and trying to like talk to him, you know, like with
yeah. I'm
energy.
just afraid he might haunt me in my dreams.
No, I don't think so. I think, and especially like if your mom is protecting you and all that, and ask for God for protection too. And then
Yeah,
if you want, how about you even go to the church that that guy was at? You know what I mean? Instead of
yeah,
emailing him, go to him and ask for like your prayers. You
yeah,
know, you can definitely, you can heal from this. I know you can.
yeah.
I'm so sorry. Like, wow, that's a crazy. Wow. So you didn't really learn anything? Like, is there anything else you want to say as far as like for the podcast, like lessons learned?
uh, I don't know what. Just if you meet a stranger you don't know and start asking for money, then they don't really want to know you. They're just out to scam you. Just be careful who you meet online, and
Be careful who you meet online for sure.
yeah.
Although it's
And this
funny because
kid,
we're like meeting on
yeah,
because we're
and
like
this kid
talking
was
on the
so smart and so serious about his stories that I believe him that he would pay me back. I never had an indication that, oh, he's just conning me. And
yeah,
then I found out from the cops later that he was been in trouble since he was 14 years old. So he probably used these same stories over and over and over.
just for the drugs. Wow. And the other thing though about you, like you're trustworthy. Like you trust when people tell you something, you trust it. And I used to be like that too, but you have to really use your discernment to like be like, okay, they're bullshitting me. Like
Yeah,
they don't want
yeah,
me, you know? Like, and you kind of already knew from when
yeah,
he asked for the money because you said that this happened to you multiple times
yeah,
before, right? So, like at the end of the day, I don't know if you're into like intuition, which is like your gut feeling and not, but
yeah,
your intuition warned you, you know, it was
yeah,
like, don't do it. But that's all you have to do is just work on that, you know? And
yeah,
you had a lesson out of that. And so now
yeah,
you know you're never going to do that again.
yeah,
So that's your lessons learned.
yeah.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. That was a really vulnerable story. And just keep learning.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to me.
Oh, of course. Thank you for sharing.
And nice meeting you. And I'll listen to your show. I haven't had a chance to listen to your other shows yet.
Yes.